Welcome to the City Current Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference and powering the good. And we love talking about MOSD, Memphis Oral School for the Deaf. We're honored to have with us Andrea Baird, Executive Director of MOSD. How are you doing?
I am doing wonderful, thank you.
So we have a lot of good to talk about. Amazing work with youth and families and cochlear implants. We'll talk all about that, but give us a little bit of history for MOSD.
Sure. So MOSD, we're kind of the hidden gem in the Mid-South. We've actually been around since 1959. It started out just with a family that was looking for some education for their child that was deaf and hard of hearing. And over the time, the family was just like, there's really nothing local. And so what they did was they created it themselves. And what that did was inspired this amazing opportunity to bring specialized services in the Mid-South. So MOSD's kind of been all over the community around Memphis. I know originally they were like downtown at some point, and then they thankfully were able to purchase their own building several years ago. And we've actually been in Germantown since. We serve, however, all of the Mid-South, and we actually have families that come from Mississippi, Arkansas. We actually have some clients that still come all the way up from Texas just to get our specialized services. So we have, a very long running organization that is here really to provide services to families and children specifically that are either deaf or hard of hearing. All of our clients have what we call assisted technology, which that is either a cochlear implant and or hearing devices.
And so go ahead and talk about the hearing devices, the cochlear implants, because I think what really makes you different is you think Memphis Oral School for the Deaf and you think sign language, but that's not what this is. And so
Yes.
Talk about cochlear implants and actually like how that plays a magical role in being able to transform the lives of these youth.
Right. Thank you for that. And I appreciate being able to provide the clarity for that. So we are an oral school. What that means is we provide oral language. And immediately, like you said, folks are like, oh, so you guys do sign language. And me, myself, just learning about the organization coming in, that was wonderful for me to find out because what that does is it gives families the option. Families are choosing to, have these opportunities for their children and elect surgery for either cochlear implants or, the hearing devices like a hearing aid. And that is strictly the family's choice. And so what we are lucky to do is be able to provide the opportunity for them to come and bring their children so that they can begin to learn how to listen and talk. And it is amazing. We have children that start with us from as small as like 6 months. And we have, basically we have 4 programs. And so our kiddos start in our younger group and then they transition into the next group. And you see the world of hearing just come to them, and you're in awe because you get to see that these children are really beginning to develop language. And we all know language is very, very important for the development of children. It helps us not only communicate with our families, our moms, our dads, our brothers and sisters, but it also helps with developmental in, when you get into mainstream school as well. And so that's really our goal. Our goal is as an early intervention service program, provide children that are either profoundly deaf or hard of hearing, be able to gain those developmental skills in language so that when they are done with us and we get to just love on them and teach them and guide them and help their families, they're able then to mainstream into regular kindergarten with their hearing peers.
And what's amazing is we've had a chance to do many tours over the years, and you go in and you see the kids singing and laughing and talking, and it's really amazing. And a big part of that obviously is the specialization for your team. And so talk about your team and the expertise on that side that enables all of this.
Yeah, so I will say again, we are very, very fortunate. We have two audiologists on site, and those audiologists are there to provide um, the the mapping of the cochlear implants. I mean, some really technical stuff that, you need training, you need specialized program applications, and we have that all in-house. And those two audiologists are here throughout the day, all day. On top of that, we have 7 speech language pathologists that are on site, around 7, maybe 8, give or take. And those individuals are here to provide speech therapy to our children on a daily basis. And so we really become that one-stop shop for families that have children with hearing loss. On top of not only the audiologists and the SLPs that we also have deaf educators, and deaf educators specifically that are really here to help the students and the families understand, again, developing language. One specialty that a lot of our staff does have is what we call LSL, Listen Spoken Language. And that's really specific. It's a specific credential that our providers do and are able to get, just extend more opportunity to develop that language.
A neat part too, when you mentioned families, you work with the whole family. And so you're working obviously with the youth, the child, but there's so much more to that equation. And so equipping the parents to be able to bring all of everything that you're experiencing in the classroom into their home is a big piece of this as well as the support system, the resource sharing, them being able to meet each other and talk and having a peer-to-peer opportunity as well. And so talk about your work with the whole family and the parents.
Yeah, and that's really the key. We have to have parent involvement. We actually specialize in parent training. We provide one of our programs, Sound Transitions, provides our kiddos to come in throughout the week, a couple days throughout the week for a specific time frame, and those are the little bit of the younger kiddos, so having them be here all day with us is kind of harder on them. However, one of the elements of that program is to bring families in to actually they observe the child in the classroom, and then they actually are able to meet as a group, and within that group they discuss some hardships that they might be dealing with and some complications with getting outside services other than services that they get here. A lot of our clients and a lot of our students have to get physical therapy, or they have to get some other type of therapy. So we are really the beginning referral service for those families when they've just gotten the surgery. Maybe the family is sometimes we have kiddos that get the implants when they're about a year old, and so families are just beginning down this path of like, what do I do, where do I go? We really capitalize on providing that additional, information and training to the family so they don't feel like they're on this journey by themselves. We actually just most recently talk about great, wonderful staff that we have here. 2 of our exceptional staff members, both of them are SLPs, developed a parent support group. And that parent support group has grown so much in the last few months, where we are now like, oh my gosh, we need a bigger space, because our families are seeking each other out to just have that support that they need while they're going through this journey.
One of the neat things, so you're known as MOSD, Memphis Oral School for the Deaf. The formal name, though, is Speech and Hearing Center of the Mid-South. A part of that is you have a hearing area in your facility where you can do testing and all sorts of stuff too. So you have a lot of technology there that goes in with this. Talk about that piece of the equation as well.
Yeah, so again, thank you for that. We actually have on site, we have 2 sound booths. So that enables our audiologists to be able to do hearing evaluations. A hearing evaluation like you and I would go, if like we were, hey, my hearing's not doing so well. And so that gives us an opportunity. One rung of our work that we do here is outside patients. Clinical patients. And so that gives us an opportunity to, work out in the community and be able to offer those services to individuals within the community. One of the other things that we also do with regard to just the hearing evaluations, piggyback on just evaluations, just in general, we do just speech evaluations for hearing individuals as well. We're really lucky and fortunate. We've had a very amazing partnership with Lausanne School, and we actually have an internal SLP, our staff member, that's actually housed at Lausanne, and they provide evaluations, speech evaluations, and also speech therapy to the students there. And if that SLP finds that, oh, maybe something's up with the hearing, then they refer that child back over to our audiologist where they can get a hearing evaluation. So we are, yes, in this, this area here within, Germantown, the Mid-South, but we are really trying to look to, go where the people are, go where those services are needed. We've actually had conversations with Porter Leith, and there's, some opportunity there. We have a great partnership with U of M and their speech and communication program. And so we work a lot also with their graduates, and they come and do their clinical hours with us. And so there's a lot of stuff that MOSD is doing that I think folks are like, wow, oh, we just thought you guys were just this little, building there in Germantown, but we are busy, and we are definitely trying to create some opportunities and, provide the services that are really needed out there in Memphis.
Well, and that speaks a lot to the collaborative focus and effort, creating synergy with other organizations and schools, and being able to, just like you're talking about, really be able to be impactful in so many different places. Talk about how the community can help your efforts. You have events, you have all sorts of obviously financial, contribution opportunities, volunteer opportunities. So talk about how the community can help your efforts.
Great. Yeah. So we're a nonprofit. MOSD is a nonprofit. It will always be a nonprofit. And the small amount of clientele that we do have for the outside clinic does help fund the nonprofit. But one of the things that I was really super proud of finding out, learning more about MOSD as I was coming on board, and I've been here for over a year now, we don't turn away any family. And so if our families cannot afford to pay, and if they don't, if they're not on TennCare, if they don't qualify for TEIS, which is Tennessee Early Intervention Services Program, which we are a provider of, we have a contract with the state to provide services for TEIS clients. And if they don't have any of those services or any of that financial backing, then we don't make them pay. And so what that means is that MOSD carries that financial burden for the family. And to me, that is something that is wonderful, because what we're finding is we get referrals from Le Bonheur. We get some other referrals from like a clinic and whatnot. And so some families are, they're, hard times, low income. And so being able to have our, donor base is really, really crucial and really important. That's something that MOSD, because of the long standing that we've had, we do have, some typical donors that do donate every year. We have also opportunities that we create, end of year campaign that we create. We also have 2 signature fundraisers, 1 major fundraiser, which is our Speakeasy event coming up April 29th at the Great Hall. And it's a good time. It's a fun time, but our goal is that it is specifically for the children. And so without those sponsors and donors and, a couple of our events that we do and the partnership that we have with the state of Tennessee, we really couldn't do what we do. And that means that we need, more help. We need more assistance from the community, because what we're finding is we're getting the referrals. We're getting families that don't know where to turn, and they find us by a referral from like Le Bonheur or TIS, and they just think, I had no idea that, this could even be an option for my child. And I think, there's a misconception a little bit too, because we're in Germantown, that we serve just the Germantown community, which again, I'm proud to say that, we serve all of Mid-South and then some.
And I think that's an important piece of the equation is the geographical location of the building, is one piece of it, but the reality is you're serving really the whole region and beyond in terms of the services and opening up the access. And just like you're talking about, the more people that are coming to you needing help, the more that necessitates the community helping to be able to lift and open up the access so that you can provide these services, especially knowing that there are so many who, can't afford to be able to pay financially. And so underwriting the cost to be able to lift and create that ripple effect in the community of giving back and impacting and transforming those lives is so important. So love everything that we're talking about and love everything that you and your amazing team do. So let's go ahead and wrap up. Give everyone where to go to learn more. So website, social media, where do we go to make sure we're in the know with upcoming opportunities, but to get plugged into all the good that MOSD does?
Thank you. Yeah, we're at mosdkids.org. That's our website. And we're all over social media. We've got our Facebook page, MOSD Kids. We've got Twitter. We've got Instagram. We've got LinkedIn. We're all over. So just look for us, Memphis Oral School for the Deaf or mosdkids.org. We are always looking for volunteers. We have special opportunities for volunteers pretty much weekly on site. And then we also have our opportunity to volunteer for the Speakeasy, which gets you into the event and enables you to just see what a great time that will be, but also to give, somebody that maybe doesn't know much about MOSD a little bit more information about what we are about.
Absolutely. Website again, mosdkids.org. Andrea, thank you for all you and your amazing team do. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.